Hi, my name is Christy Lee, and today I'm talking with Sandra McCracken. Hey, Sandra.
Hey, Christy, good to see you.
Good to see you too. Sandra's had a busy year. I've seen you collaborating with all kinds of people, from the Gettys to Citizens on your album. Also, Audrey Assad, Cindy Morgan on her porch. So,
Yeah.
in the middle of a pandemic, for anybody to be busy with anybody else seems like a pretty good deal, right?
Thank you. That's true. I mean, it's fun to hear all those things in one sentence, because I just realized like there has been a lot going on, even though sometimes it feels like Groundhog Day, where there
Yeah.
are some new opportunities that we wouldn't have had because we're able to connect long distance.
I think that might be a good mental health tip that you just said right there, to put all those things in one sentence. I feel like during quarantine, our perspective might be, I don't know, that slow motion. There's so much that we're dealing with. A lot of it is so loud and in the forefront. Maybe I'm going to try that today. I'm going to take myself back and just try to write a sentence about some of the good things of
Mm,
2020 and see what kind of good stuff I can come up with. One of
so
the cool
great.
things that Sandra is working on is for Global Disciples coming up this Friday. They have this awesome event called NationsWorship. We're talking like over 60 nations across the globe uniting because technology is our friend in this tricky season and can actually bring us together. Sandra has written a song for the occasion. And so let's dig into that a little bit. Worshiping during the pandemic.
Mm.
What does this mean to you?
Yeah, well, I say at the top of that, I would say I miss singing together in one place. And that is a thing that I know we're all kind of hungry for. And I don't think we even realized how much it meant to us until we didn't have it, choirs and all the limitations of social distancing. And but the upside is that there really are ways to stay connected. I know we're all, learning, we've all learned Zoom, we've all learned these ways of connecting across the miles, but there are some things that have emerged as far as collaborating where there you really don't have the same boundaries. So you can be in 60 countries and you can send files back and forth, and all of a sudden you hear this something woven together that we wouldn't have all traveled to do that necessarily in one place. We wouldn't have been able to, but we can do something really special during this time.
Yeah, that is the cool thing, is that we've all gotten really good at some things that are actually able to take us forward,
Mm.
and make more things possible, even though a lot of our favorite things are impossible right now.
Yeah.
They're just not options.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the song "Stand as One." I mean, from my perspective, before I hand it over to you, I think right now being able to be united, to be able to stand together and to worship, that combination is really important. It's really needed, and it's a goal of the Global Disciples big event coming up this Friday. So tell us
Absolutely.
about that song.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the story behind the song was really born out of a conversation and out of just being inspired by the work that's going on with Global Disciples. And it's like I think when we think about it, even in the moment we're in, we have this like small picture of the big picture that we see in scripture, that everything is pointing to a day when we will all bring the most beautiful culture making contributions of all the nations before Jesus. And there'll be this like transcendent worship, right? And so when we do this now, we're kind of practicing, and it's a thimbleful, right? It's like not very much, but it's something. And we are aiming toward that time that is coming, that we are promised when the King returns. And so this song was meant to kind of follow in the footsteps of the tradition of hymn writing. So hymn writing, hymns like the Church's One Foundation, a hymn that has been sung for a long time that just really points to the unity of the church in spite of all the challenges and divisions that are oppressing the church and oppressing us as individuals. There's like a song that is central, which is, "We have a king, and he is coming back, and he is worthy of our praise." And it's kind of that simple. Right at the center of that is like, can we just lift that up and it restores our sanity in some of the moments, and whatever your particular moment is, which in a sense, mysteriously, it translates even across all the nations, right? That we're all in a moment, and yet we can affirm this one thing together.
I love the opening lyric. Now I haven't heard it because this song will actually fully premiere on Friday. So I did get to see a little preview clip, but I also have seen the lyrics, and any song that starts in a way, stay in the joy in the Father's strength. That already is something I think that is a boost to all of us. That's an energy and a life-giving lyric to open the song with. Anything that has to joy has to do with joy and the Father's strength. So I love the opening lyric there.
Oh man, thank you. I think that one kind of popped into my heart. I've been studying and praying in the Trinity a lot more this last few months, like thinking about the roles of the Father, Son, and Spirit. And so when I pray, I've been really mindful of what does that mean? Like, what are the different attributes of these three persons of God? And so that you really see it in the song, that there's like the Father's strength and the Spirit's power, and really naming some of those things as we come into worship.
Awesome. And you also, do I have this right, that parts of the song were recorded in other parts of the world?
Yes, absolutely. So my husband, Tim, and I wrote this song together, and then he and I recorded it in our home church. And it was very new. I mean, we've kind of it's really been a neat process. Like you're saying, it's unveiled in real time. And then as soon as we recorded a version, we sent it out, and then all these other friends from around the world have been able to contribute with their own musicianship and their own places. And so I've seen all these little bits and pieces coming together as well. And it's just like, it's so moving because you just realize how connected we are.
Yeah. Are you, as an artist, are you seeing things happen faster? I mean, like, it seems like with streaming services and the internet, things have already been happening faster and faster, where an artist might have released like one album every 2 years or something. In the olden days. Seems like now you can have an idea and have the whole project finished so quickly.
Yeah, that is really true. I think that things are happening much more quickly, and but I've certainly never been a part of something quite this fast, where it has like some spontaneity, and I'm excited to see how that unfolds and continues to unfold. Because when I sit and write, I think one of the main things I would hope is that songs would be enduring. But if it's so new, you don't quite have the perspective yet. And when you hear other voices and other instruments coming back and affirming those same refrains, I think I guess it's a good reminder that we don't need to overthink it. We just need to kind of worship God and do our craft and show up, and then let him do the work. And sometimes he works quickly.
Yeah. There's not enough time for polish. We just gotta be authentic.
I think we need that too. I think we need to live into that authentic part of, I mean, everything this year is like improvisation, right? It's like, I don't know. I made a plan. This is not the plan. And so we're living by the Spirit in that.
Yeah. So the song is going to premiere this Friday during the Nations Worship event, which happens 7:30 Eastern time. It'll start globally 7:30 Eastern time here. And I think it's cool that it'll premiere in a video fashion. That's not the typical way that songs premiere, although maybe becoming more common these days. But it's cool that it'll be, you'll get to see and hear it for the very first time that it's ever available, right?
Yes, that's true. I can't wait.
Awesome. Now, Sandra also, like I said, has had a busy year, I think, with a new project out called Patient Kingdom, and also Christmas music. The deluxe version of Christmas is out. Some vinyl options releasing as well. Patient Kingdom, I think patience right now. And as a mother, you know this too. Patience is really hard. We've been practicing patience for all year. So to have a collection of songs with that at the heart of it. Talk about that a little bit, Patient Kingdom.
Yeah, I'm thankful for opportunities that to record and to make music. I think creativity, even if you don't consider yourself a creative, for people that would just, put pen to paper, to journal, or to paint, or to do something with your hands, I think that those have been really good practices this year. And so the album Patient Kingdom, we were supposed to record the very beginning of the year, and then everything shut down. So we were not able to be in the same room. But managed to, like, kind of like this project this song that we've been talking about, the whole album felt like a long distance collaboration. So it was a band that was spread out over 4 different states in New York and California and Ohio and Tennessee. And so we just started, we would get on calls and on, FaceTime or whatever and connect and try to work out these songs. So Patient Kingdom is, the songs had been in motion for probably 3 years, like kind of gathering the songs and the material. But it really took on a new tone because of everything that's been happening this year. So the title, came along even though that song was about 3 years old, the title of that song was so fitting this year. So it became the album title as well.
I love the song, Lay My Worry Down.
Mm-hmm.
I think that one's connecting with other people as well during a season like this, to even be able to, because we all have them right now. I feel like other times you didn't know if people would have any worries. Like maybe some people would, some people wouldn't. Right now, 100% of people have worries because there's so many to choose from. So having that, I think that's a great encouragement for people right now to lay our worry down.
Yeah. When you go back to the Psalms and I think about the Psalm 40 and the way that it kind of does the roller coaster that I feel like I do a lot. It's really helpful to go back and to look at those words that would say, he lifted me up out of the pit. And then later in the Psalm, it's saying like, it's really putting our trust back. Like, okay, we keep sliding it over here to our worry, and then we put it back on trusting in Jesus and trusting in his goodness for us, and that he's pulling us up out of the pit every time. And yeah, that song was actually the most recent. So it was the last one to be included on the album. And I wrote it with Cindy Morgan during a couple of these songs. That one, and she and I wrote in person, like socially distant, but during the pandemic. And then the song On High Places wrote on a call basically with 2 other friends and writers. And so there was, kids running around, there were kids in the background, and just life is happening. And that song just emerged right in the middle of it. So I think it's been a challenging and rewarding process to kind of do this so differently this year, and to allow it to become, allow something to emerge out of this time that's been pretty stressful for most of us.
Maybe that's a good test for if you've got a hook or not. Can you remember it even when kids are running around?
That's right.
Probably a good one. And I love that visual of the psalmist, of David, the roller coaster, because he was always on that roller coaster of like, everything is over, my life is meaningless, are you forsaken me? And then just pouring out praise to God and flipping and that we would all be able to flip like that to worship and to praise and to declare things that are true, even though the roller coaster takes us down and around. And I'm thinking of certain roller coasters that we have here in the area at Hershey Park that are really emotional to be on. But that's a great picture. So the Christmas project too, you've got a Christmas album that's available. You can stream that too. Is it Christmas for you yet? Because Thanksgiving at this point is not until next week. A lot of people are making an exception for 2020, saying that, we just need Christmas. It can come early, even if they might not have been there the rest of their lives. How are you personally when it comes to Christmas?
Oh, that's a good question. My husband and I have been joking about that, about whether or not to get a tree. We put up a little bit of garland on the mantle this week, and I was like, I don't know, I think it's too early. He's like, well, you just came out with a Christmas album. You should be able to welcome this. And I was like, well, I don't know. I think there are some songs on the album. There's one called The Space Between, and that is almost like like kind of a prophetic poem, right, leading into this. The space between, it's written about the time between Christmas and New Year's. But we are in this liminal space. We're kind of in this transition, and we've left one place and we haven't arrived at the new one. And so I think there are themes of Advent that are on the Christmas album, even though it has some of the traditional carols as well. That I think it's one that you could probably sneak in a little bit earlier than most. And I'm not just saying that as a promotion. Actually, I'm wired into those places of longing. And I think this Christmas album has a lot of Advent overtones.
think Advent could be extremely meaningful in 2020.
Yes.
And I know so many people are just longing for good cheer,
Yeah.
and a brightness. And
Yeah.
so I'm hopeful for that in this season.
Yeah. I love that about Advent, like the ushering in of light and candles and all these kind of practices that remind us that when it is dark and when we can't see, like we did in the middle of June, there is a reminder that this light is a thread, and it's coming and it's growing, and the morning is coming.
There's a lot of people that are returning to traditional music, to hymns, to liturgy, to some of those foundational things, maybe even because they can't be gathering with their church as usual in the home. These, special reminders and disciplines are, kind of being brought into a special place again. I think Sandra's music is great. There's even a devotional component that's really encouraging. So check out Patient Kingdom. That's available now. Mix it in with Christmas, which is also available now. And look forward to Stand as One, which is premiering this Friday during the Global Disciples NationsWorship event, which is super cool. Just like a dose of revelation, and all, every tribe, every tongue, every nation singing as one, all happening at the same time. I don't know the logistics. I don't feel like I could ever pull off, but they have done it. So check out globaldisciples.org to be a part of that, and also to see and hear that new premiere of Stand as One, which is Sandra McCracken's addition to the whole big thing, which is going to involve worship leaders from lots of other countries as well. Very cool event. So Sandra, thanks for talking to me today. I'm looking forward to the whole song, and wish you a early Merry Christmas, I guess, right?
Thank you, Christy. It's good to connect. Thanks for making time today.